Hey Scorecasters, EP here with another video from Scorecast Online. Today I'm going to be talking about Sonokinetic's Vivace library. I'll be doing a general walkthrough dealing with the interface navigation and content options. I'll also include a short piece of music that I wrote which utilizes some of these very options. Our featured composer this time around is Piotr Musiał. He's an incredible composer from Poland, best known for his work in video game music. But not just that, he's actually responsible for writing all the music used in this library. It's a lot to get through, so let's get started. Vivace is the second product in Sonokinetic's full orchestral sampling line. What started with tutti and the darker side of orchestral atmospheres has now progressed with Vivace to a more magical and mystical style of cinematic patterns and moods. The library is compatible with the latest version of Kontakt 5 and its free player. Vivace comes in two sections, 16 and 24-bit, with a combined total of over 32,000 samples. Each section is divided into three categories: tempo synced, DVD tempo light, and a Vivace bonus section. Both the tempo synced and DVD tempo light categories hold a total of 20 patches, each with multiple cues and variations. The Vivace bonus holds around 10% of samples from Sonokinetic's 2D library for you to explore and use in your work. Let's open up a few patches and take a closer look at the interface design, as well as some content options involved with this library. Okay, so I've got one of the chord pattern patches loaded up currently. As you can see, we have a nice 3D view of our orchestra, which has been split into 4 sections. We've got strings, woodwinds, percussion, and brass. If we want to look at our score view, we simply need to click on the icons for each section. To get a closer look at the score, simply click on the score itself. This is a fantastic learning tool for composers who want to look behind the baton and see the inner workings of each cue. Let's have a quick listen. If you look at the top left of the score, you'll see B19 C minor. This indicates the original key and the tempo of the recorded cue. Now, if I switch to another cue, you can see it changes. Original tempos are listed A through H, ranging from 60 to 130 BPM. You can check the Vivace PDF for all tempo listings. Now you can see down here on the right we have two pitch settings, 440 and 442. This is a great extra feature to have. Most sample libraries come with the standard 440 setting, but as we all know, the majority of professional orchestras tune to A442. This really helps when mixing Vivace with live orchestral elements in your score. No need to retune every single patch. Beside the pitch setting, we have the option of purging individual cues to save space, and also the ITM and jump function. I've explained these options in details with previous videos, but let's quickly go through them once again. The ITM is Sonokinetic's intelligent tempo mapping option, which automatically switches the performance loops to half or double time based on how extreme your host tempo is. This way, samples will never be stretched more than 20% in either direction, allowing artifacts to be kept to a minimum. Now for the jump button. Without this option activated, cues will always start from the beginning of the loop whenever triggered. When it's turned on, whichever section or bar of a loop you leave to activate another one, it'll automatically play the new loop from where you left the old one. This way you can preserve the quality of phrasing and continue the natural flow of the loop. Let's have a quick listen. Okay, I'm going to open up another patch now and have a look at these other interface functions. I've opened up a patch from the chord and melody ambience section here. Why don't we start with the keyboard layout? The green keys represent the key selection area labeled C through B. Some cues have different variation options, and these can be triggered via the red buttons here, as well as above. The blue keys trigger the different phrase cues available in each patch. Now, if you want to change the root and phrase key simultaneously, two key switches have been made available on the low G and A here. Up above, you'll see the Mark Current Cue as favorite option. This is a nice extra feature to create shortcuts to your most commonly used cues. Let's make a few quickly. Now let's move to the options window. Here you can see the mapping mode option, where we can switch between all the cues available in this patch and those favorite ones I just made. If you want to get rid of those favorites, simply click on the key and then the Mark Favorite button, like so. Staying in this window, you'll see that you have access to a 4-band EQ as well as reverb. This is great for auditioning phrases as well as controlling mix options between key cue changes. If we move over to the levels window, you'll see there is a global parameters section that manages the mixing levels. When active, all mixer sliders appear and the settings you input will affect all cues played. You can also copy and paste individually if you so wish. We have 3 available mic channels that can be activated by simply clicking on them. You can manipulate levels via the sliders. Similarly, in the groups section, you can pick and choose which section of the orchestra you want prominent in the mix. Why don't I test a few cues and showcase some of these options? Now that we've gotten a sense of the interface, I'm going to show you a quick demonstration of how I combined Vivace elements together with additional instrumentation to create a short piece of music quickly and efficiently. Let's take a look. Okay, well, I've got 3 patches of Vivace loaded up now. The first is the chord patterns, and I'm going to be using 3 instances from within that patch. Then I'll also have one from the endings and the transitions patch. So let's have a listen to that first before we listen to anything else that's been added into the composition. Okay, here we go. Okay, so now let's add in all the extra instrumentation I did for the composition. So we've got a lot of percussion. We've got swipes, timpani, cymbals, snare ensemble, and then of course for the main melody I've got the horns and violins added as well. So yeah, let's have a listen. As you can see, there's a vast amount of content in this library, and I've really only scratched the surface when it comes to this brief overview. Luckily for you though, Sonokinetic recorded multiple in-depth videos on every aspect of this library, from installation to its actual implementation in your own work. I highly recommend you visit their website, sonokinetic.net, and have a look at what Vivace has to offer. Now, it's time for our featured composer, Piotr Musiał. Let's have a look at the music he wrote for their product trailer. For the sampling world, Sonokinetic's 2D was a major breakthrough with respect to full orchestral performance patches. As the next natural step, Vivace doesn't disappoint. In fact, I'd consider it a huge step forward. For me, what really stands out about this library is its potential as both an inspirational and a learning tool. With Vivace, composers have access to a multitude of high-end, quality performance cue options that enable quick and efficient writing. Deadlines can sometimes cripple the creative process, and with a library like Vivace, composers can create incredible polished cues in a short amount of time within their own current score, or in turn, inspiring new ones. For those living outside Europe, Vivace costs €199.90. For those of us in Europe, it's €237.88, including VAT. I hope you found this video informative and useful. For more information on composing tools, as well as news and articles, please take a look at our website, scorecastonline.com. I'm EP, and thanks for watching. Take care.